Hello everyone, it's Junie checking back in with all of you. We're going to take another peek at Sebastian Rogers' natal chart. This is not his crime chart, this is his natal chart. Please remember that his parents are, yes, they are listed as suspects, but as of right now, they are cooperating with law enforcement and they have not been officially charged with any wrongdoing towards Sebastian. Sebastian Rogers went missing from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, February 26, 2024. It's suspected, it's alleged that he walked out his door on his own and just basically disappeared into thin air. No one has seen him since. There's a lot of suspicion surrounding his disappearance. So I am taking a peek at his natal chart just to kind of see what was happening with him. Okay, so again, all suspects and all names on my channel are always given the presumption of innocence, okay? Now, I did pull some of Katie's asteroids because she was the last person seen with Sebastian. They went and had dinner. They did a few things that day, and she was the last person to be seen with Sebastian. So I did pull a couple of her asteroid names. I found a couple of Katie's, and I wanted to see where these Katie's showed up on the Astrology. And they show up in interesting spots that I think are pretty important. So we will look at them as well. We'll look at the 8th house of death and transformation, inheritance, other people's money. We'll look at his first house. We'll just do a quick recap about Saturn and really focus on the 4th house, the opposition between Saturn and Uranus, and that, the degree ruling the 4th house is the 4th degree, which is a Cancer degree that rules the mother, that rules home, that rules family, your security, your safe place, your upbringing, your roots. So, I mean, it's already kind of pointing around that, something about his family is important here in his natal chart. Also, please be advised, everybody has things on their natal charts that, might look, a lot of red lines, a lot of tension. And some people have, a lot of blue lines, a lot of green lines, right? I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that what I'm saying about Sebastian, I'm going to be leaning a little bit more towards the negative because of this huge T-square that's affecting himself, okay? That huge red triangle that connects the Sun, Mercury, Black Moon Lilith, and Uranus in the 4th house, ruled by Pisces, and it's connecting Saturn, ruled by Virgo, up in the 10th house. So that can be an authority figure in his life that's part of this huge T-square that's on his natal chart. So that is why I'm kind of leaning a little bit more towards some of the negative things about what's happening in his first house, okay? I have Scorpio ruling my 4th house. My childhood was crazy, okay? Lots of us have dysfunctional families. Lots of us have things in our natal charts that don't look the best, okay? But I didn't end up missing. Regardless if my 4th house on my own natal chart looks intense, I never went missing. So same with my own children. I'm sure their 4th house looks a little hectic too. I mean, I've shared with you guys about my own husband's brain issues and my own medical conditions. So, I'm sure my children's 4th house doesn't look all that spectacular either, but my children aren't missing. They're here with me. They're safe. They're with me, right? So I'm going to be picking apart some more of the negative aspects because of this huge T-square and all this energy. Like, think of the T-square pointing at that first house like that, like it's like a buildup of tension, and then it just boom, okay, and it releases, it comes to a climax in that first house, and it's pointing to the sun. So that means it's directly affecting self. The sun is his sun sign, his natal sign, right? Who he is. So, and the first house is who you are. So there is some tension there, and there's a lot of red lines from the fourth house to the first house. So we have the fourth degree at the IC line, so we know that there's some tension here with family, okay? Doesn't mean that they're guilty. Please don't get my words twisted and say that I'm accusing the family. I'm only just, we don't really know what happened to Sebastian. But this might kind of give an insight to what was happening with him at that home. Again, I'm not accusing the parents of anything. It's just there's obviously tension here. So we're just going to talk about it. That doesn't mean they did anything to Sebastian. I mean, it could be, that might be why maybe Sebastian ran away or left, or we don't know if he ran away or not, right? But, and we don't know if his mom or stepdad did anything to him or anything like that. So we just don't know. There's no answers, and that's why I'm really trying to dig into his natal chart right now. So you don't read a natal chart like a horror ray astrology chart, like a crime chart. I'm reading his natal chart like a regular natal chart, okay? So when you have a mutable sign like Pisces ruling the fourth house, it can mean that there's a lack of boundaries in the home. Pisces, is kind of the sign that is very spiritual, very emotional, feels everything, very intuitive sign. But there is sometimes something with Pisces where things become blurred and confusing. And if they might have a perception of what they think their home life is like, but there's might be some secrets involved, a family secret. A mutable sign can mean that, that there's just lack of boundaries in the home. With a mutable sign like that, so you have a mutable and a cardinal sign. So the cardinal sign is, the beginning of the season. So it's a starter sign. I mean, it's an active sign, wants to get things going, but it also, because it's an Aries, it's about the appearance of the home, the appearance of the family, where they may look one way, but beneath the surface, there's something hidden there with Pisces, because Pisces is like that submarine. Think of same with Scorpio, but Pisces is the same way. It's a water sign. Think of like you're going beneath the surface, like you're getting in a submarine, you're getting your scuba gear on, and you go down under the ocean and you start to look around. It's a completely different environment down there, right? But with that cardinal Aries sign on the fourth house cusp as well, it makes you wonder, was there something about appearances? It also says a lot about the mother, because the moon is in here, so it does give some hints about messages from the mother, and that the house may have been kind of a perfectionist house with the mother in Aries, wanting everything to be a certain way. Aries has horns. She's a very kind of confident, direct mother, I would say. Confident, it's all about thyself. Sometimes it can be a little selfish, but it can be also a very protective mother. It is at the fourth degree. So again, we have the fourth degree at the the IC line, and then we have the fourth degree for the moon as well. So that's a lot of Cancer vibe here in this fourth house. So there's something about home and family. The planet of Uranus is there, and this is where it gets a little, where I unfortunately think that there's some type of tragedy connected to the home. I'm not saying that Sebastian has passed away. Again, don't get my words twisted. But Uranus is the planet of shock, change, breaking the chains that bind you. setting you free. It also, because we have Uranus square the sun, that means that a divorce or a family split has directly affected Sebastian. And there's a red line there, so you know it's tension. So this is a child that is dealing with divorce. Possibly he could have moved in many different places. Even Pisces can kind of hint around to that for a mutable sign in your fourth house. If you have a mutable sign in your fourth house, it can mean that you did a lot of traveling. That Uranus in his fourth house can also mean that Sebastian felt alienated in his own home, where he felt like an alien in his house. That it might have been hard for him to actually set roots in his home with blurred boundaries there with that Pisces. So he may have felt alienated. And then when you see that big square and the opposition, or the square over to his sun, so this divorce directly affected him. Then you have the opposition to the sun from Uranus to Saturn. So that's directly affecting his body. This shock and this transformation and this unexpected shocking event that happens within the home directly affects his Saturn. There's an opposition to Saturn. So that's a critical, could be someone who was being very analytical of Sebastian, and it can be an authority figure to him with that huge opposition between Saturn and Uranus. Now, again, there are some positive things about having Saturn and Uranus with there, but like I said, this boy is missing, and I'm just telling you about some of the things that stand out to me on a negative level, because Uranus is the planet of unexpected, shocking events inside the home, and where he may have felt extremely alienated in his home, because that's Uranus. Uranus is the planet of being kind of going to the beat of your own drum and being different from everyone else. So he may have felt different from everyone else. And let's not, ignore the fact that we have some really critical degrees showing up in his astrology. Mercury being at the 22nd degree, that's a kill or be killed degree. It's a critical degree. And then we have Uranus showing up at the 18th degree. Again, that's another critical degree in astrology. The vertex in the 8th house of death is at a 18th degree. That's another critical degree in astrology. The 18th degree Uranus in the 4th house of home and family, it's a devil degree. The 18th degree is the devil showed up at some point in this boy's house. I'm not sure who. I'm not accusing anyone, but it is an evil degree. And it's critical, and it really is a transformative degree for little Sebastian in his home. So again, I'm not accusing the parents of anything. I'm just telling you what the degrees mean on the astrology. The 18th degree is considered an evil, anaretic, critical degree. There's a lot of tension there with that degree. Okay, let's continue on. So, with Aries there also in the 4th house, it could be some emotions, some conflict. Again, you can have a mother that might be a little selfish in the home, all about appearances and wanting the home to look a certain way on the outside. But then again, we have some sort of, blurred boundaries. We have some sort of confusion, some type of family secret. Neptune is the spellcaster. He's the original spellcaster, guys. He's the one. He's a very powerful planet. And, there can be something hidden beneath the surface with Neptune, and he rules Pisces. So, he does rule delusions, lies, possibly a parent that worked overseas. And, both the parents were in military. So, Neptune can be things that are happening overseas as well. So that's interesting as well, because both the parents are in the military. Aries is also a soldier. Aries is also the god of war. So, you can see a military family member as well. So, and that's showing up in his astrology as well with Aries. Aries is the god of war. He's a soldier. He's a general. He's in charge of the god of war. So that tells us that there's a military parent there. So that shows up as well. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so back if we focus on the first house, having Mars, the Sun, and Mercury in there, it can really indicate that I have Mars with a weird aspect to Mercury for me as well. And I have horrible ADD, ADHD, and dyslexia. And I have, later was diagnosed with adult autism. I'm very minuscule. I'm high functioning. So, but with Sebastian, I mean, you can really see, because the first house is what rules thyself. It rules your physical body. You can see some medical elements that might be affecting you. Something about his face might be stand out because he has Aries in there. That there might be some issues with the mind, impulsiveness. Mars is the planet of impulsiveness. So we do see Mars pretty active in people who, Mars, Mercury, Virgo, sometimes Sagittarius, you can kind of see Saturn being affected, things that rule the head. So the first house rules the head, the mind, right? The face, your eyes. The second house rules your neck, things like that, your throat, your larynx, your voice. But the first house rules the head. So, and the Sun also is part of your solar plexus, but it's the lion's mane. You'll always notice something about a Leo's head as well. So, it's the lion, the lion's mane, the hair of the lion. So, there is always something that is definitely affecting his mind, the way that he thinks. Having Mercury in the first house is great because, it does mean that you have really, that you're smart also. You're smart, but there just might be some impulse disorder that he has that's directly affecting his Sun and his Mercury. That's because it's all conjunct there. It's all pretty close together, all tight in that first house. So you can kind of see where, there's not a lot of research about astrology and ADHD, autism, and he has the chromosomal deletion disorder. So, again, I'm going to really emphasize that Sebastian did not like to wear diapers. He did not like to, like Chris said, go to the bathroom on himself. This is something that he could not honestly help. If you actually research his chromosomal deletion disorder, you will see that there's problems with their bowels, that they can have problems with the medication that they take. It causes cancer. It causes all kinds of things. A lot of these kids, don't really make it into their 50s and their 60s. There's a lot of medical conditions with their organs, and there can be a delay in development in the mind and in the organs. So if you think about his colon, he could have issues with the colon. There's constipation, and there's all kinds of issues that they have. Plus, they're taking medication that can really mess up their bowels as well. So I don't think that Sebastian liked to go to the bathroom on himself. That's, really upset me when Chris said that, because all you need to do is just start researching his chromosomal deletion disorder a little bit, and you will see that a lot of these kids are in diapers just like Sebastian and struggled with their bowels as well, lacking control of controlling their bowels. So he did not like to go to the bathroom on himself. I just want to clarify that. That has nothing to really do with his autism. He is not just autistic. He has a chromosomal deletion disorder. So we really need to start focusing more on that and not so much of his autism. He has a very unique situation because of his chromosomal deletion disorder. Okay, I just want to kind of put that out there. Let's go over to the 8th house. Again, I don't want to accuse Katie of anything, but it is the house of sex, death, taxes. I do have 2 asteroids sitting there, one of Sebastian, one of Katie. It's a soft conjunction there. It is interesting that Katie, shows up in also the 2nd house, which can mean possessions. It can mean also value, money, how you value things. And then I also have another asteroid of Katie showing up in the 8th house of death, transformation, sex, death, taxes, inheritance, other people's money. So again, I am curious if there was an inheritance on Sebastian of some sort, maybe a trust fund or some, it does rule other people's money. It rules death and transformation. So it does make me a little uncomfortable that Katie is in there with him in the sign of Cancer, which means home and family. So, there's some type of transformation with family with that. What, I don't know. Okay, I'm not going to accuse Katie, and I don't want to say that Sebastian has passed away. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it is a little suspicious, and I want to point it out to you that in the 8th house of death and transformation, we do have, they're 2 asteroids. There's only one Sebastian asteroid in the whole data bank. There's only one Sebastian. So that asteroid rules Sebastian, and it is in the house of death and transformation. So it is something to consider. Again, we want to keep hope alive and pray for Sebastian that he will be found. It could mean that he's just going through some type of pressure and some type of transformation. But I also have to be honest with you, it is a planet of death and transformation. And then down on the DC line, we do have Algol there, which can mean, of course, it can mean conspiracy theories, but we have to be realistic about who Algol is. Algol is a demon star. He rules the neck. He rules the upper part of the head. And it can be a neck injury that directly affects his health. It could be, but it also can be a conspiracy surrounding his disappearance that directly affects his health. It's in the house of health. So, conspiracy, possibly, but it's affecting his health. Algol's affecting his health. And that is a demon star. It's the most evil demon star that we have in the entire universe, okay? And he usually means some type of traumatic event, okay? And or it could mean that Sebastian might grow up and have a work injury at work with his neck, because it is the house of work and service and your health and how you take care of your small pets, how you take care of others and how you are feeling medically. So Algol being on that DC line, DC rules his open relationships with others and his enemies, the people in his life. He has Gemini in the 7th house, so that's his relationships. So there's 2 people in his life that directly are affecting his relationships. Just saying, again, it is conflicting, okay? Algol is not the best star to have there in your health on the DC line like that. Hopefully it's just conspiracy, but I do have to remind you, it is a house that affects his health directly. And it's a star of mass catastrophe. He's not the best star. And he does rule someone losing their head in public. It could be someone lost their temper, or could be that when Sebastian grows up, he might lose his temper at work, something along those lines, or he could have a neck injury later in his life. Or neck pain or headaches or something like that. A lot of people that have Algol in their sixth house, they can have really bad pressure headaches. That's pretty common because it does affect the head and neck. Okay, so again, let's just continue to pray and keep Sebastian in our prayers that he will be found safe and alive and that he is fine. That he's just going through some type of transformation and pressure right now and that he will be found. In the meantime, continue to pray for the family and everyone involved that we will find Sebastian soon and know his truth soon. Continue to keep everyone in your prayers and continue to pray for Sebastian. All right, blessed be everyone. Take care. This is what I have for now. Sorry, my microphone got weird. So this is what I have for now. Please continue to pray for Sebastian and family that, we will find his truth soon. I'll be in touch soon. I have a couple of more locations that I want to add to little monkey Michael Vaughn's maps that I'm doing. So I will be in touch soon. Blessed be. Be kind to everyone. Take care of one another. Bye-bye now.